Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new game. This one is called Sunlight. Um, I'm going to be honest, I don't remember anything about what this game is about, so let's find out together. I'm going to plug in my controller in just in case we need that, because I don't know what this game uses. I don't know. Okay, I don't think I can. Well, let me quick. Well, this seems to have broken it entirely. Wait a minute. Okay, so having the controller in needs to get like it's registering it's there, but I don't think it works. So we'll take my controller out and options. Okay, let's turn the subtitles on. I prefer that. Okay, well, that should be fine for now. Let's go. Like I really don't remember what this game is. Presumably Sunlight.
Welcome. Are you sitting comfortably?
Yes.
Are you focused?
Yes.
And not thinking about whatever's bothering you these days?
Well, I wasn't.
I'm not here to test you. Please, relax. Let your thoughts come and go, and listen as they fade away in the distance. For better or for worse, this is where your life has brought you. Looking at a screen, listening to me. Imagine, for a moment, that you've just had a child. It's healthy, but unfortunately also completely blind. For their whole life, they will live in the dark and not see a thing. Their perception of reality is something that you might never be able to comprehend. How would you describe the world to them? What can't be touched or heard, smelled or tasted? How would you describe sunlight? By what it does? Or how it feels on their skin? I think I'd play them this piece of music. First composed by Tchaikovsky in 1878, these rays of light have traveled through decade after decade, finally reaching your ears this very moment. You have also traveled far to get here today, but you're only passing through and should probably get going.
Okie dokie. It's interesting.
While you're here, I'd like to tell you a story.
Okay, the tree is talking.
It all happened to me when I was young, walking in a forest.
Much like you are.
Those were days filled with boundaries and rules.
Of no running in the hallways, don't do this or that or the other.
With my world full of fierce discipline,
I want the forest to breathe. One day, deep in the woods, I found a funny-looking tree, crooked, old, and wrinkly.
With little work, a few bits of bark became huge shapes. Calm creeks
turned to ferocious oceans. I can still recall the people I imagined dragged downstream with a sense of guilt.
As I gazed back upon the old tree,
I noticed something peculiar.
Wait a minute.
it was crying. Every crumple, like eyes closed tightly.
Clear drops streaming silently down its wrinkly skin.
Are the trees all speaking?
So I did, as children do.
Tasted it. Not because it looked tasty, but to figure out what it was. The first drop made my tongue tingle.
The second made it prickle.
And the very moment the third landed on my tongue, a profound sensation spread through my chest.
I think the trees are talking.
Undefinable, like thirst, both vague and specific. One thing was clear.
Something
Was changing within me. I remember breathing in
And out, feeling the fire.
Okay. Oh, I see something like a fire over there, so probably that's where we're supposed to be. It's not really a fire. There's a flower though. I like that flower. Okay, this tree is lit up. Is this tree important? I see another thing that looks sort of fire over there, which is probably, yeah. Okay, another flower. Okay, maybe it's just to do something with the flower. So it feels like the flower is significant. That's the exact same flower. I don't know. Oh, I can pick up the flower.
The following day, I woke to a slight prickle in my fingertips.
I studied them closely, discovering circular ridges in the foreign landscapes of my skin.
The prickling soon slipped my attention.
It would be another week until it returned. A wave of gentle needles moving over my skin. A limb falling asleep, perhaps?
Yeah, the trees are telling the story.
I did not start worrying
Until it returned for the third time. First making its way up my neck,
before engulfing my skull completely
From behind, I could even feel the tiny needles covering my eyeballs.
Give me a tree.
but it did not stop there. I held my breath as the
Small thorns crawled around my lips before spreading into my lungs and stomach. My awareness
spread with it.
and I remember the strangest sensation of my mushy dinner in there, as if I held its remains in the palm of my hand.
It's very windy. A lot of wind. Okay, I see another bright spot. So I suppose we'll head there. This is interesting for sure. Oh, it's another flower. Same flower? Or a different flower? This is a different flower. I have two flowers.
My body took control and opened my mouth.
An explosion of air rushing into my lungs. The tingling
spread with it through an endless web of veins.
Soon, reaching my beating heart for a moment, I stood in awe
Of the activity
within my body. I felt my heart beating faster and my skin sweating.
Your body is your only vessel in this world. And when it misbehaves,
the claustrophobia is total. Seek help, I thought.
And at that very moment, the tingling needles shot from my brain down to my
spine. I felt them scatter through my upper leg, where muscles contracted to lift my knee. My body weight shifted forward, and a shockwave spread from the foot sole
as it landed softly on the ground. The process repeated itself in greater detail for every step. I was overwhelmed, but my body
kept moving.
I did not at all feel like the boss giving directions. It all happened automatically.
And I was simply along
for the ride.
Very glad I turned the subtitles on.
Like you.
Oh, it's nighttime now. It's evening. Dusk. Okay, I see more flowers. I think there's one here and one over that way, but let's go this way. I wonder if we're gonna turn into a tree. It's very interesting. I've never played a video game like this before. It's an experience to be sure. I thought there was a flower here, but I don't see a flower here. Okay, I see the flower over there though, so let's go out. Yeah, there's a flower. And there's a rock, I think. A rock. I don't know. Maybe this flower. So that maybe the trees will tell us more stories.
The doctor's office was cold and white. Crossing the floor,
Felt like a polar expedition. My parents' distant features of the landscape.
I wanted to explain, but
was unable. My lips and tongue engaged in an intricate
choreography, myself in the audience observing the words performed.
I like this tree's voice.
My lips muttered, "I'm sure it will pass," while my thoughts were crying for help.
Okay. Hopefully this is actually a flower, and not like last time where I walk towards it and then it just disappears. It's not actually a flower, but I think I see a flower there. Unless I just missed the flower the last time, which is highly possible. It's a yellow flower.
the conversation
Kept going,
but I stopped paying attention.
Instead, I was following the hands of a clock mounted on the doctor's wall.
They were both speeding up and slowing down.
I was slipping further and further away.
a levitating camera in a video game, merging with the code it was running on. Again, with the binary, with the electronic circuit and so on. I closed my eyes
and let my sensations lead me.
First, I spent some time with my bones.
Among their many functions, I got lost in their continuous breathing. An uninterrupted flow of calcium absorbed and released. Even my skeleton was alive and living in and of itself. I could feel my mind clinging to the known, to the clattering thoughts, the buzzing of memories and fears of the future. But for each breath, tension was released and my shoulders sunk comfortably. It had certainly felt like I was in there, somewhere behind my face, but I was nowhere to be found. And the more I looked, the more hazy I became.
Okay, are you gonna keep doing this where I like find a tree voice I really like and just listen to most of the story in that tree voice? Not that I like super dislike the other voices, it's just sometimes there's certain voices that just resonate very nicely with my brain. Give me like happy feelings. That's the ones I'm gonna pick. Hopefully those also are ones you like, because, or at least ones you don't hate.
When my eyelids eventually opened,
They felt as slow as a sunrise.
Photons converted to neurosignals
shooting along the optic nerve, each carrying a piece of information into the darkness.
the brain categorized motion, color, edges,
Distance. I sat for a moment in the dusk, watching the sunrise.
When the world eventually lit up, I was no longer wondering
Why matter lights up from the inside. My experience had changed from the fire to the light it emits. But it would get much stranger still.
Some of these games, it's more like an experience than anything else. The one that kind of tests the it's making you think, what exactly is a game? And I mean, this is a game, but it's different. It's the loveliness that like games can help you feel, experience that nothing else can.
Stretched. I started daydreaming, or so I thought.
It began as a shimmering field, creeping slowly
in from the periphery of my vision. The hands of the clock still moving, but
Among them, vague shapes. Slowly, but surely, I saw trees flowing past me, and among them, myself, sitting right there in the doctor's office with a vacant expression. While walking around myself, I was surprised to still see the clock straight ahead. Myself from the side, the clock on the wall. The two images were not overlapping, they just coexisted. Like imagining a familiar place with your eyes closed, and you see both nothing and something at the same time.
Not a sensation I'm familiar with.
I
I can't visualize.
towards myself, but saw only the face of the doctor, lingering somewhere between confusion, concern, and annoyance. However, when I studied his face closer, I was struck by terror. The image of myself had turned to look straight into my own eyes. I felt my own hand reach out towards myself, the weight of my hand landing softly on my own shoulder. Eyes distant, looking at the doctor, looking at myself, rules and boundaries disappearing.
There's one over here, but I can't tell for sure. But if not, there's one right there. So just a sun patch. So we'll go towards that one. Another flower for a bouquet. Looks like maybe another yellow one, like a lighter yellow.
delicate wave of nostalgia washing over me, intimate recollections of past sorrow, relationships, education, and even medical experience. And at last, I was no longer alone. Not in the sense that the doctor was there in the room, but rather
that we were together in the darkness of my mind.
A vast number of sensations were still flowing, but now with two observers to share the burden.
One over there, but there's also one closer here. This would be purple or pink again. Let's take that color again.
somewhere, out of sight, a hand picked me up.
And as I kept breathing, the fire kept spreading. Soon, it swallowed my parents, sitting in their chairs, doubting my story.
I felt contradicting opinions and ideas coexist, but not in a conflict. Different notes in harmonious chords, shaping a balanced, invisible whole. More clouds spread into my vision, and more sensations through my body. The music was involving. I looked at my hand. 5 fingers against the surface
felt no different than 5 bodies or minds. Branches becoming aware that they were connected to the same trunk all along. Their experience my own.
All of them present in my mind.
Okay. It seems to be a story about a bunch of people turning into trees in exactly the same way.
The prickling kept spreading. Each needle on my skin, another presence in my mind. More and more observers sharing the burden. A vast number of sensations flowing. My world, like musical sunlight, just passing through. Every individual going about their business. Strangers on the street unaware that they were all each other, their surroundings, and me. I knew and felt them all as I knew and felt myself. And I could no longer feel contempt, or that anyone was somehow less deserving. There was no longer me and you, no us versus them. It was all just me.
Quite a ways back.
As I kept breathing in
and out, each new breath pushed me along
A ubiquitous landscape that was simply too beautiful to ignore. When they passed each tree and beyond
on
it,
every hill was another idea I knew to be true. Mountains, transient shadows of
Matter flowing through time, slowly from one point of view. But for the mountain itself, oh boy, it's in a hurry, like everyone else. Both the whirlpool and the stream.
an expression of energy floating through empty space.
All experiences merging to one.
There I was. All of us. You, me, I. The light that shines through the film. All else
is smoke and mirrors.
Okay. Tree. We're going to be looking at the tree. Or the tree flower. It's neat how they have all the trees under. I like that part. I was just gonna stay on my one, but I like listening to other ones to try to do it.
As with all stories, this one also ends. Not because the story has an ending,
but because it keeps moving, leaving us behind.
My body kept living like yours will, with surfaces preserving its illusion of separateness.
The screen.
our very own eyes. I couldn't tell if I ascended or dissolved.
I'm soaring through space, but unable to move nevertheless. And as I turn in orbit, the boundary
Between light and dark keeps moving. A cascading wave of thoughts arriving at dawn.
just to slip away at dusk.
I'm thoroughly enjoying this. It's very interesting. I'm not sure I'm spending my time like delving deep into what the story is, but I am enjoying the experience. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, now why am I stuck? Okay, trees, I want the flower. Y'all let me get the flower.
a violent competition on speckled dust suspended in nothing. An energy field fumbling in the dark, trying to describe myself.
I want to be safe. Well fed, not too warm, not too cold. To be acknowledged by my closest. So even though you are another part of me looking back,
you will always be a stranger, a lump of resources
For my exploitation.
Branches cut. Our hemispheres separated once again.
Rocks, skipping along the surface, never sinking in. The inconsistent dash of beauty between the noise, picked up by the stranger with good intentions.
And with it, sentenced to die. I don't care who you are, or how you found me.
But we are both reaching in. A few lonely rays, venturing through space,
In just the right direction.
Absorbed in our leaves, stored as sweet sugars, and exhaled as crisp and clean oxygen.
skin, or while we wait for the next sunrise. We breathe in and out.
All that matters is that you are here right now. And for a moment, we are together.
You and me as one. Like we always are. And we always will be.
I don't see another flower. Oh, no, I see. It's where it leaves the forest. It's been a really nice experience. I said I don't know that I followed 100% of everything that was being said. But I know I enjoyed it, and I know I enjoy how it felt. Oh, of course we get down here. I don't know what to write. I just write my name. You just name them. Believe in yourself. You probably should not have just wrote Suzi. But I don't think this is connected to any internet, so no one else is it. Okay, well that person just wrote so it's okay. Well, that was interesting. I hope you have enjoyed this interesting gaming experience. Because, yeah. This is what I love about games. Like, honestly, it's what I adore about games is that games are not one thing. They are, and they can make you feel things and experience things in ways that no other medium can, because you get to like live that for a moment, and that's why exploration games are some of my favorites. And I really enjoyed this. It is really interesting. So hopefully you've enjoyed it too. This has been Sunlight. Thank you for watching. I love you all so much. Do the YouTube things. You know the drill. Bye. Thank you for watching. It means so much to us. If you enjoyed your time here and would like to see more, you can consider subscribing here to the YouTube channel. We upload 2 days a week, on Mondays and on Saturdays. And if you want even more than that, we stream 4 days a week on our Twitch channel, which has the same name as our YouTube channel. We stream on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 8 to 10 Eastern Time, and on Sundays from 2 to 4 Eastern Time. Plus, you can look for some pop-up streams in the afternoons here and there. Thank you for watching. I love you all so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.